Um, okay, let's start the presentation now. So we have two parts of today's session. So first, we'll go over some academic policies and reminders, and then we'll talk about community and engagement. And till the end, we'll have like Q&A time. But during the presentation, feel free to type in any questions you have in the chat. Um, So here, I'm just going to talk about some academic policies and some reminders. So first, make sure you are in full load by the first day of class. I know like most of you have already meet the full load requirement, but if you haven't, make sure you take the summertime to explore courses and identify enough credits to enroll before the semester starts. And if you are currently overloading or consider to overload for the semester, we highly recommend you to talk with your GKU advisor, or like you can talk to us, your academic dean at Duke, um, to review your schedule and make sure like overload it's a manageable schedule for you. Um, and for special circumstances, such as you have like a medical condition, you may apply for underload. And this must be approved by your academic dean at Duke. And we'll share his information in a later slide. And also a reminder, so when you enroll in Duke Hub, some courses may have like two sections. So for example, a lot of like science courses has a lecture section and then a lab section. So make sure you enroll in both, because if you forget one, like Duke Hub doesn't automatically recognize like you miss a section. So you just need to pay attention to that by yourself. Oops. And so if you are still looking for courses that you want to take, on this slide, we have some resources for course selection. So you can utilize these to help you like narrow down the courses you want to take. So for example, you can go to the advising guide on the OGE website and in that document, there are lists of courses recommended by different departments and subject areas. So you can use that as a resource. And also in Canvas, we have a course selection tip handout that kind of explain the differences among different types of courses at Duke, and that may help you to narrow down your interest. And also when you search for courses, you can use the filter functions in Duke Hub to find maybe you're interested in a course with like a heavy writing component. Maybe you like writing, so you can use the filter to search for courses with a writing code. And also like the department websites is a good resource for you to see like all the courses that is offered in each department and always talk to people. So we're here to support you and also talk to your peers. So if you know any students who have studied at Duke in the past semesters, or you can contact with KSAC to seek for suggestions. And also when you register, you may see some courses have prerequisites, and they will show like what the prerequisite course is. And if you believe you have satisfied the prerequisite by taking courses at DKU, but Duke Hub does not recognize that. So in this situation, you can submit a permission number request for overriding the prerequisite, and the link is in the advising guide. So between now and the end of the second week of the semester, you can add or drop courses. Um, but pay attention. So after the first week of classes, you can still like drop courses by yourself. But if you want to add any courses in the second week of classes, you will need the instructor consent. So you will need to email the course instructor and express your interest and ask for a permission number to enroll. Um, and if you are currently on the wait list of any courses, make sure you have a uh, backup plan, just like in case it's not guaranteed, like you will be added to the course. And also, like all the waitlist will be erased after the first week of class. So if you are still hoping to get into that class, even there are like open seats in the second week, you will need to email the course instructor. And also make sure there's no time conflict. With your schedule. So, for example, if you are already enrolled in a class that is 8 a.m. on Monday, and the course on your waitlist for also begins at 8 on Monday. Even there's a seat open, Duke Hub will not add you to that course. So when you decide to waitlist the class, make sure the schedule does not conflict with the other courses you have already enrolled. Um, and if like there are any delays on your arrival to campus and you won't be here on the first day of classes, make sure you notify your course instructors of each class and also your academic dean. Um, so Duke has a SU grading policy, which is similar to the DKU CR&C option. Um, so this is like something you can decide later in the semester. So for example, if you do not um, feel like confident with the final grade you will get, you may consider this option, but just pay attention that not all the courses allow SU grading. So you can check the course attribute information in Duke Hub. So usually if it's not allowed, it will say graded only SU not allowed. If it doesn't say that, typically you can change to SU grading. Um, but before you decide to change to SU grading, you are required to talk with your DKU advisor to make sure you understand the CRNC policy at DKU because the SU courses will transfer back to DKU as CRNC grading and it count towards the limits at DKU. Um, and we have the request deadline here, and we'll also sign the reminder in the weekly newsletter once the semester begins. So here are like some policies about attendance and accommodations. Um, so class participation is very important and each course instructor may have different requirements. Make sure you read all your course syllabi carefully and understand the attendance and participation expectation. Whenever you are unable to attend the class, make sure you notify your course instructor. Um, and also, so if you have like any special needs, you need some type of like accommodation to support your study, we recommend you to contact the Student Disability Access Office as early as possible to submit. You can submit your request online and they will follow up and to confirm like what type of accommodation you can get. Um, And there is a form called short-term illness incapacitation form. So this form is used when you are um, you are being treated by a doctor or you become too sick to do any academic work. You may use this form and send it to your course instructor. You can use it as an absence excuse, but it's up to the course instructor to decide like whether this will be accepted. And it's also um, there are certain conditions can be counted as incapacitation and some are not. So for example, if you're getting a cold or maybe having a bad headache, these situations may not count. And you can click the link. We'll share the slides in Canvas later, and you can click the link and view the policy online to understand in what situation like you can use this form. And so for long-term medical situations, you should talk with your academic dean, Li Guozhang, and to discuss the support and accommodation you need to help you go through the semester. So we recommend you always be proactive to connect with us whenever you're unsure, like what type of support you can get with your situation, or like whether it's appropriate to um, ask for anything, you can always like talk to us, your academic advisor or academic dean first, or like reach out to your course instructor. So credit transfer, all your DKU courses are transferred to Duke. You can view your transfer courses in Duke Hub. And as I mentioned earlier, these courses, if they are equivalent to the prerequisite courses at Duke, and they can use for to satisfy the prerequisite requirements at Duke. Sometimes Duke Hub does not automatically recognize that, and you can use the link in the advising guide to submit the request to get the override. And after a study at Duke, all your Duke credits will be transferred back to DKU. If you are expecting the courses to be your Duke credits to be transferred back and be used to satisfy your DKU degree requirement, make sure you check the DKU course equivalency table inbox to see if it's already been evaluated and it can be used to satisfy a major requirement. And if not, you can submit a course equivalency request. Also, the link is on OGE website. It's not guaranteed like the request will be approved, so keep an eye on that and adjust your course schedule accordingly. And if you are just taking courses and need them to be transferred back for general electives, in this situation, you don't need to do anything.